Hello and welcome. You're listening to the It's All in the Cards podcast, a horror fiction podcast where all questions are welcome, but you may not like the answers. Some material may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
15 minutes. 15 minutes for me to let my tea steep and figure out what book I'm reading, or maybe what meditation pose I'm striking. 15 minutes to just be myself before I face the world again in whatever form it's coming. 15 minutes. That's all I ask for. And I can't even get that anymore. I turn around to Ephraim picking up books and stacking them back on the table. Fern, our lovely store cat, perched on said table, flicking her tail back and forth, watching him. 50-50 chance it was either the cat or Ephraim that made the mess, but the man seems to have more patience for that cat than I do. If she breaks another coffee mug, she's going home to Sam. Even without the noise and mess, Ephraim's mere presence keeps me tense. I try to ignore him the best I can, but his energy alone sets my alarms off. Not that he's a danger, just that he's there, like a flashlight in your eyes, blinding you to anything else. Even keeping my power in check and trying to shut my energy radar down, he's like a nightlight in the dark. I'm afraid what else his presence will bring, but I guess that's his gimmick, right? Something calls to him, and he goes back on the move. God, please just get him out of here sooner rather than later. If I get no peace, then I might as well open the store. I walk past Ephraim as he finishes stacking the last of my new release table. As I flick my neon open sign on, I notice someone sitting on the bench in front of my store. A high-collared jacket and boiler hat hide their body, but as the light flashes to life, they turn, and the neon sign reflects in their eyes. No. Wait. The eyes are glowing all on their own. The person stands and turns. It's a man. His eyes level with me, still glowing, but now I see the pretty face that goes with them. I instinctively raise another layer of shields to protect myself from whatever attack he's about to make. But he just stares. The longer we stare at each other, the more his face isn't pretty. It's as if there's a projector pointed at his face, making him prettier than he really is, but I see the imperfections, the ugly that's really there. He frowns, as if I've disappointed him.
We need to talk about the buried mother. Meet us at your coven circle at twilight.
The stranger lifts a hand to his hat, and then he's gone. He's just fucking gone. No peace. No peace at all.
It's All in the Cards, Season 3, Episode 6, The Fang and the Breeze.
I haven't hung out on the stool behind my counter in forever. Sit and do stuff, yes, but I usually sit at one of the tables when I'm passing the time. Can't do that now. I'm not getting that close to him. I'm not encouraging any chance of discussion. Ephraim has been patient and quiet most of the day, but then again, Fern has taken a liking to him. She knocks things over for him to pick up, and he will do it every time. I guess when you're waiting for a sign from God, it doesn't take much to keep you entertained. For the most part, he has also honored my request to not talk to me. He left to go get lunch and just asked if I wanted something. I turned him down, but he still brought back some soup for me. I won't let food go to waste, so I fed it to the cat. She liked it just fine. I stock inventory and contemplate if I should offer a lunch menu instead of just breakfast. I'll have to ask my morning regulars if they have time for that, but also I don't want to compete with the cafe next door. Oh, maybe she could just cook some dishes exclusively for me. I'll have to work with her on that. I've been so focused on the coven and all the other shit going on in my life, I haven't been focusing on my business. It's steady, but steady is barely paying the bills. I need growth if I want to continue for another decade. Damn, it's already time for Sam to be out of school? Oh shit. Sam. Any other time, this is no cause for alarm, but with Ephraim, maybe she won't mind him at all. Assume he's just another customer.
Hey Jade, did you leave any inventory for me?
You said you wanted to work on a tarot-themed table, so I left that all for you. Fern knocks off yet another object for Ephraim to pick up, but he's slow to move, and Sam is already on it. She picks up the water bottle and hands it to him.
Sorry, sir. Fern likes to play a lot.
So I've noticed. She's had me playing this game all day.
You've been here all day? You aren't waiting for Jade to help you with something, are you?
No, she's helped me as much as she can. I'm just waiting. Thank you, though.
Sam makes her way over behind the counter with me. She picks up a box and starts going through it.
He's cute for an old man. Is he interested in you? Is that why he's hanging out?
Ew, no. I mean, at least not like that. It's complicated.
Well, I've got all evening.
But I don't. I'll need you to close up for me tonight. I've got an appointment. But Ephraim is okay to stay after hours. You can lock him in if needed. She raises her eyebrows at this.
Hanging out, huh? Sure sounds like a new boyfriend to me.
Say that again, and I'll take your voice away for a week.
Is that something you can really do?
If you want to know, then stop referring to him as my boyfriend. I don't date older men. Wait, how old do you think I am?
Do you really want that answer?
You know I'm your aunt's age.
Yeah, but do you really want to know how old I think she is?
Saved by the bell. Sam smirks at me as she walks away, heading towards where our for sale tarot decks sit. I glare at her, retreating back before turning to the customer.
Hello, welcome to Which Way But... What is that?
A tiny woman stands in the doorway, her face blocked by the huge dark crystal in her arms. It's set on an intricate cold base, the thin strands woven around to support the heavy stone.
It's a crystal.
I refrain from rolling my eyes. I don't know if this woman is buying or selling yet, and I definitely need to make a sale today. Although by the size of it, that crystal looks like one I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. I can see that. What is it doing here? The woman heaves the crystal onto the counter with a huff, and then drops her hands to her hips, panting slightly. She shakes the mass of dark curls out of her eyes and looks up at me.
Hi, I need some help. I heard that you do tarot readings here, and that you're kind of a psychic. You're Jade, right?
That's right. And you are?
Marcella, and this is my crystal ball.
It's beautiful. Where did you get it?
I found it in my grandmother's attic after she passed. We were all clearing stuff out and taking what mementos we could before things got sold. I'm the youngest grandchild, so all the good stuff downstairs was claimed by the time I got there. I figured I would try the attic, just in case there was some old clothes or something up there, and I found this in a trunk.
As she speaks, I look closer at the crystal. While the bulk of it is dark, there are lines of gold and silver that sparkle throughout, spiraling deep into the center of the crystal itself. The surface is polished and smooth, and the gold base is designed to look like vines wrapping around it, with the feet of the base shaped like leaves. It's beautiful. Obsidian?
I think so. I'd never seen it before, anything like it really, but when I searched for things like it, all that came up was crystal balls.
So you have never seen your grandmother use it? Do you know if she was a seer? She shrugs.
She was just gammy. I didn't know she had this cool secret side, otherwise I would have tried to get her to teach me.
I know the answer to my next question, but I have to ask it all the same. Have you tried scrying with it? A red flush blooms across her cheeks. So that's a yes, then.
That's why I'm here. I looked up how to use crystal balls, and I followed all the steps. Set a relaxing tone for your space, light some candles, sit comfortably, let your eyes unfocus. The first few sessions, I didn't see anything, but that sounded normal, so I didn't want to give up yet. But last night I tried it again, and I think I saw something.
She looks up at me with her large brown eyes, and I feel sorry for her. She was dabbling in something that she wasn't fully prepared to understand, and it looks like it's biting her in the ass.
Dabbling in the supernatural is dangerous business, young lady.
My eyes shoot daggers at Ephraim. He needs to stay out of my business and out of my brain. He's wanted in neither place. Your opinion doesn't matter.
I'm just trying to help.
Help is fixing problems, not vilifying choices that have already happened. Come on, Marcella. We can discuss this further in the reading room. I gesture for her to bring the crystal, and she follows me into the private space. I peer through the verving to make sure Ephraim hasn't followed, but he stays near the counter, a sour look on his face. Good. Once we are settled, the crystal ball between us on the table, I give Marcella what I hope is a comforting smell. Why don't you tell me what happened?
The first few times I tried scrying, I didn't really have a question in mind. I mostly just wanted to see what I could see. Find out if maybe I have some kind of powers or abilities. I mean, my grandma had owned this crystal ball for who knows how long. She must have had some kind of ability to use it, right? Otherwise, what's the point of keeping it?
Other than the beauty of it?
You don't keep beautiful things in the attic. You put them out on display. The thought had occurred to me that maybe she had stored it away because it was evil or something. But when nothing happened the first few weeks I had it, I kind of assumed it was normal. Maybe she had just lost her abilities or didn't want to use them anymore. That happens, right?
I've heard of it.
Right? So, last night, I sat down to try scrying for the millionth time, but I wondered if maybe being too aimless was why I wasn't successful. So, I came up with a question. I had just started seeing this guy, Will, and I thought maybe I could get the crystal ball's input on how our relationship would go. I like him, but for all I know, he could be a serial killer, so I thought, ask the ball.
And the ball told you something you didn't like?
It didn't really tell me anything about Will. To be honest, it was really weird. I'm not sure how to describe it.
Do you remember what you saw? Or has your memory gone blank?
I remember it all.
She shivers at the memory, and I stand up from my seat. I'm going to try something. Close your eyes and think about that moment. I wait for her to do so before I go on. Focus on how you felt before you started scrying and try to get yourself into that calm mindset. She takes several deep breaths, and I can see the calm take over her facial features. Her cheeks go slightly slack, and a stillness comes over her body as she sits at the table. Gently, I place my hand on her shoulder and feel her energy. She's still closed off, but hopefully she can let me in. I want to see for myself. Good. Once you're there, visualize a door opening. Behind that door is the crystal, and inside of the crystal is everything you saw that time. I feel the door in her mind opening, a soft draft of warm energy flowing from her, and then I'm there. I see the crystal ball in her mind. Nothing else is around it, just darkness, but that's all right. All I need to see is inside the crystal ball. We stare together, searching the depths of the deep obsidian stone until I catch a whiff of movement. Subtle at first, just the barest flickering of a few strands of silver hidden deep within the crystal. But then it grows, wavering and dancing in and out of sight. It's too faint to make out exactly what it is, until it grows, coming into clearer focus. Smoke. Smoke and fire consume the crystal, playfully moving around inside. Through the haze, I can make out a room that is mostly bed, a small nightstand on either side. Flames dance across the comforter, licking up the walls and reaching towards a wooden dress in the corner. The vision is hard to make out through the smoke of the fire, but I can see a shape on the bed, petite like Marcella. She wrenches her body away from my hand, coughing like a pack-a-day smoker. Pulled so abruptly out of her mind, I stand stunned for a second before I'm able to move. It's okay. It's okay. The air is clear. You can breathe. I put my hand again on her shoulder, this time pushing my energy into her small frame, trying to calm her from the horrible scene inside her mind.
I don't remember all of that. What did you do?
I shake my head. I just opened your mind a little so I could see what you saw. You must not have realized what was in the vision the first time. She shakes her head, wiping her eyes with the palms of her hands. I swear I can almost smell the smoke.
That was a lot more than I expected.
So you were thinking about the guy, and this is the vision that came to you? I pick up my cards and begin shuffling. Not looking good for the guy.
It's not looking good for me either. Is he going to burn down my apartment?
It may not be that black and white. Let's see what the cards have to say. I flip over a card. The first space is for your situation. With the moon, we are seeing a duality of what can happen. It could be intuition coming through with the crystal ball, or it could be your fears and anxieties that cause the vision. It's hard to tell the difference between reality and illusion right now.
You're telling me.
I smile at her before turning over the next card. This space is what's preventing you from moving forward. The King of Cups reverse shows a coldness and a lack of empathy or wisdom.
So the guy isn't empathetic?
That could be. Or it could be not about him at all. He wasn't in the vision, so I'm wondering if this is even about him.
What else would it be about?
I glance at the crystal standing between us. This could be more about your lack of wisdom regarding crystal balls. You said you did research, but did you talk to anyone who has used one? Got any advice from people with experience?
Google?
I shake my head. Google doesn't know everything, especially not with the AI answers that pop up now. You started down a dangerous path here, opening doors you don't know how to close. The third card shows 2 crossed swords facing away. This space is how to move forward in the situation. The 2 of Swords reverse is telling you that you're at an impasse, and you have to make a choice. You can continue scrying and broaden your practice, or you can stop for fear of what you saw in the stone. You have to think about the outcomes of each choice. Do you live with the knowledge that you can know terrible things but may be unable to stop them? Or do you close off yourself from the knowledge and live without that hanging over your head? You may have to choose the lesser of the 2 evils.
So you're saying I should stop?
I'm not saying anything. The cards are telling you to be careful. It's your choice how you move forward.
But what if it's right and my apartment catches fire while I'm sleeping? What if this is supposed to save me, but I don't do the right thing?
I recommend making sure the batteries in your smoke detector are new and test them every 6 months. Other than that, you have to decide how you would like to live your life. She nods slowly, lower lip caught between her teeth as she thinks.
I think I would rather keep trying than give up. I mean, I don't want to live my life in fear.
Fear is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you need a little fear in your life to keep you grounded. I stand up and lead her out of the room, crystal in hand. Ephraim has made himself scarce, thankfully, so I am able to check her out without any more input about godly practices. Before she leaves, though, I have to make one last offer. If you ever decide that scrying isn't for you and you want to give up that crystal ball, bring it back here and I'll buy it off of you. It's a beautiful piece, and I would hate to see it sitting in another attic. She nods, still lost in her own thoughts, and leaves the shop. After I watch the door shut behind her, I make a beeline to Ephraim, who is back in his corner, staring out the window, watching the woman leave. Do not interfere with my work again, do you understand me? If you do, you're out.
I can't leave until my...
There's a bench outside calling your name if you throw your self-righteous comments at my customers again. He sighs and gives in.
You are right. She came here looking for you, not me. I will not interfere unless someone's life is on the line.
Thank you. Sam, don't forget you're locking up for me tonight. Suspicion shrouds her face as I grab my bag and make for the door.
You never did tell me what you're leaving to do.
What I always do when you lock up for me. She nods and rolls her eyes.
When do I get to go on the adventure for once?
You'll have plenty of your own to go on. Appreciate the quiet while it lasts. I head out the door without another word. After everything the kid has been through, I'm surprised she wants more adventures. I guess her trauma had a 50-50 shot of making her a crumbling mess or a badass with a hero complex. 2 guesses which way she's heading. We may have to talk about that soon, but for tonight I have to focus on whatever news is coming about the bitch in the ground. As I'm driving to Mountainburg to meet with the mysterious man from the window, I wonder if I should call Roz. She and Maureen will want to know any updates about the buried mother, but I can always fill them in later. And if the dark figure is the member I think it is from the sailing circle, then I'm going to have some questions for them that I'm not sure I want Roz and Maureen there to hear me ask. Best just to go alone. Since I'm not looping the Becketts into this conversation, then I can't park at Maureen's house like I usually do. If I park even halfway down the dirt road, it will be my luck that Roz happens to be out this late and sees my car and comes snooping. So I park off the shoulder further down the road, the same place I parked my first visit as an adult back to the circle. That night, I had Mr. Giggles with me, and he had Stephen, the human form of Marbus, in his arms. Oh, how times change. I lock my car and start trekking down the ditch to meet the tree line, but I stop after 2 steps. There's something different about the woods, something that makes me reconsider going out there in the dark without a light. I've made plenty of walks through these woods by my night sight, seeing in the darkness as well as any howler, if not better. But that same sight tells me something is there, watching. Whether it's friend or foe remains to be seen, but even if it is something that wants to harm me, I won't let it stop me. I press on down the ditch, but once I get to the threshold of the tree line, a thrum of energy over those woods hits my radar like a sticky film, like gum that sticks to the bottom of your shoe. If I were to walk into that thing without protection, it would cling to me and follow me home. A mundane person going for a hike in the Boston Mountains wouldn't have a clue the filth they've walked into. They'd assume it's just the itch from the tree leaves, or a bat at it like a spider web in the way. The buried mother's reach is growing. That, or her minions are. I pull a crystal from my skirt pocket and hold it out to the trees in front of me. Clear my path and show me the way. I push a bit of my energy into the crystal to activate it. One beam of energy, bright like a floodlight, flashes into the woods. The film of dark energy retreats as its rays and I slowly make my way into the thick of it. This walk is going to take longer than I wanted. I'm not 10 minutes into my walk when the wind picks up. The tree branches rustle, the foliage on the ground tickling my ankles. There's energy on the breeze, more than just the thrum of a healthy forest. Something is heading my way, but in the middle of all this negative energy, whatever is coming feels safe. And it's coming straight toward my light, so it's nothing that will hurt me. But what the hell is it? I lift my crystal toward the canopy as the wind is solidified by whipping leaves and creaking branches, hovering in one spot as if on a circuit of energy perched there. They form in the shape of a person, a man. The energy is definitely masculine. It's the elemental from the sailing circle, the one I saw at the last solstice, and so many years ago when I went to the tar tree by accident as a young girl. The gentle soul who cared enough to stay and make sure I got home safely.
It's good to see you again, Miss Jade. Although I wish it was under nicer circumstances.
Hello, Gale. Did you come to fetch me? I am making the trek more slowly than I meant to.
You also didn't come the way we thought you would. Your typical path to the circle is safer.
Are you referring to the ilk that has fallen over the woods? I'm surprised Maureen hasn't said anything about it to the coven yet.
Maureen likely doesn't know yet.
How's that possible?
If you'll let me escort you, I'll show you.
I don't even bother trying to stop my smile from spreading. What does escorting me look like?
Only one way to find out, Miss Jade.
The air gets cooler as Gale holds out his ethereal hand to me. I have a moment's hesitation to worry about the leaves and branches manifesting his body, tearing into me, but I know this kind soul could never hurt me. I reach for him, uncertain of exactly how to hold on. He takes my outstretched hand as an invitation, and a burst of wind sweeps me off my feet and through the trees. I feel caught in a wave of power. A straight line of wind pummels me through the canopy, though not a tree branch or a leaf touch my body. I'm struck immobilized by the force of it. And then we clear the forest, and I enjoy a sight I never thought I'd live to see but by a mountain's peak or an airplane. The world stretched below me with nothing but a gust of wind keeping gravity from throwing me down into that dark canopy. Gale pushes us along to the clearing in the woods where the coven circle is. He lays me down gently like a sleeping baby placed in its cradle. That was amazing. Can you take me home too? Gale touches down beside me, dialing back his powerful gusts into a gentle breeze that stirs the foliage and grass of the clearing. His physical form lacks the leaves and branches from before. Only the light of the moon makes his energy glimmer like an invisible man, a glowing outline that defines where he is.
It's always a pleasure to be your escort, Miss Jade. But you may want us to take a safer route after you hear what we have to say.
We? I assume you're referring to your friend that visited me this morning.
This morning? Westerly wins. Did he really wait that late to call on you? I thought he confirmed with you days ago we would meet tonight.
Hey, she's here, isn't she?
The voice from this morning startles me. I never heard him approach, but he's right beside me in front of the coven circle. If I didn't see the man with my own eyes, I'd swear he isn't here. He's shrouded with a silence that's not possible for people, and the energy he puts off is very low, barely registering on my radar, like the buzzing of a fluorescent light. His high-collared jacket and hat are gone. Jet black hair, and a dark contrast against his pale skin. His eyes glow just like they did this morning, but instead of reflecting the red of my neon open sign, they're dazzling white with the moonlight. His eyes are beautiful. I feel myself reaching to touch him, to caress the cheek near those eyes that promise wonder and peace. But I stop myself from touching him and realize what he's done. Some vampire you are. You can't even hold me in a trance with direct eye contact. He frowns at me.
I was hoping Full Dark would have remedied that problem from this morning. It seems you have a defense of some sort, shielding you from my powers.
Good to know. He takes a step closer to me, and a warmth radiates off of him that was not there before.
I have other powers, Jade.
His energy level has risen, and I'm curious to know how, but I don't like how close he's put himself to me, or the fact that his words feel like a threat. I can't help but to react to that. Now, only friends and food get this close to me, and I don't even know your name yet. Back off before I show you what kind of vampire I am.
I'm Marcus Fletcher. I know what you are, but you would do well not to mistake me for a weakling.
Now, why would she go and do a thing like that, Mr. Mighty Vampire?
Gil, why must you always be a thorn in my side?
Someone has to do it.
You two sound like an old married couple.
Not too far from the truth.
Stuff it, Gale.
This big, bad vampire with a weak spot for the wind elemental. The book would sell itself, but I've got to focus. I walk over to the fallen log the coven uses as a bench and sit down. As fun as this night has been, I'm curious to see what news you have about the buried bitch.
Her minions are on the move again. They're beginning to show themselves. And you've already seen the sickness in the forest.
Gale said Marine and the rest of the coven don't know about that yet. Why?
Do you see it here?
I hadn't thought about it since Gale let me play out my version of a whole new world. But Marcus is right. There isn't a touch of that dreadful ick on the clearing or the nearby trees. She's leaving this place untouched on purpose.
We believe so. As she grows stronger, she calls more of her minions to her. We are unsure how many are under her power.
Wait, are you telling me there are people under her power? Or are you talking about more creatures in the mountains?
That's precisely the problem. The last time the seal was cracked, she lashed out at those towns in the mountains. But this time, she is moving more quietly, through her children. Only the Endless Man walks with no regard, but he hasn't actually harmed anyone yet, though I suspect he is stealing years from many.
Why would he do that? And do you two know of any way to stop him?
One can only assume he's going to give those years back to his mistress, to give her a solid, living body that can walk again. As to how to stop him, I'm working on it.
Marcus makes a patting motion on Gale. Wow. Didn't know you could pat an elemental on the back.
Little family feud never hurt anyone, now did it?
Says the vampire whose clan has all but disowned him.
Back up. Family feud?
The Endless Man is Gale's father.
Wow. How the hell did I step into a supernatural soap opera? I take it since you're part of the sailing circle that you and your father don't see eye to eye.
That's one way to phrase it.
Okay, so what do you propose we do? Summon the circle again to let them know? Marcus rose those glowing eyes.
As if they'll do anything before the scheduled time. They will want proof of what we claim before moving to do anything.
What about the seal? Shouldn't we go check to see if it's cracked any further?
Already did that. It's the same as before. But I'm telling you, something is different this time around. She has something she didn't before. Some machination working for her.
But the circle won't act without concrete evidence.
Evidence we can't get until they make an attack big enough to get the circle's attention.
Why? Why is it so hard for them to want to take action before any lives are taken?
No one wants to believe it's her. They will blame it on other things until they have something directly tying it to the buried mother. They want to believe their sealing ceremony has not lost its power.
Rage boils all over my body. It failed them the night my mother sacrificed herself. How can they be so blind?
Her sacrifice is what makes them think it's that much stronger now.
So what's the plan here?
We can wait for her minions to reveal themselves.
Or we can go hunting for them and beat them to the punch.
But you don't have a clue, other than the Endless Man, who they are or where they are.
That's where you and your magic come in.
But Miss Jade, hunting for them may lead us into greater danger. It must be your choice. We completely understand if you decline.
I stare at this elemental shimmering in the moonlight, and the vampire with eyes like stars. I want the threat of the buried bitch gone forever, and this may or may not play into that plan, but only one way to find out. As long as you two are at my side, then let's do it. This episode of It's All in the Cards podcast was written by Ashley McAnelly and Morgan Valko, featuring the voice talents of Ashley McAnelly, Nichole Goodnight, Natalie Hitzel, Nelson Abrego, Jeff Clement, and Scott Thomas. Theme music by The Arsonist. Outro music by Ethan. Produced by Scott Thomas. Don't forget to check us out over on Patreon for exclusive subscriber bonus content, including bonus episodes, 2 spin-off series, episode artwork, and more. Link in the show notes. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at It's All in the Cards Podcast, or on X at It's All in the Card.
Be still.